What if some of the fish you've been told are heart healthy could actually be working against you after 60 without you noticing? Not because fish is bad, but because which fish you eat, how often, and how it's prepared can quietly change how your heart responds as you age. Research suggests certain types may increase inflammation or sodium load, while others are consistently linked with better heart markers. Today, we'll break down 4 fish to be cautious with and 4 that may help protect your heart, based on what science actually shows. As we get older, our heart doesn't stop working, but it does become more sensitive. Blood vessels may stiffen, inflammation can rise, and the body doesn't process fats, sodium, or environmental toxins the same way it did at 30 or 40. That's why food choices that once seemed harmless can start to matter more after 60. Fish is often recommended for heart health, and for good reason. Many types contain omega-3 fatty acids, which studies suggest are linked with healthier cholesterol and triglyceride levels. But here's what's rarely explained clearly. Not all fish affect the heart the same way, and preparation, sourcing, and frequency all play a role. Everything in this video is based on long-term nutrition research, cardiology guidelines, and population studies, not trends, not extreme diets, and not quick fixes. This isn't about cutting fish out. It's about making informed choices that align with how the body changes with age. By the end, you'll know which fish to be more mindful of and which ones research consistently suggests may support heart health when eaten wisely. The first category to be cautious with, especially after 60, is large predatory fish that tend to accumulate mercury over time. Common examples include shark, swordfish, and king mackerel. Mercury doesn't come from the fish themselves. It builds up as these large fish eat smaller fish over many years, a process known as bioaccumulation. Research suggests that higher mercury exposure may interfere with blood vessel function and may affect blood pressure regulation, 2 areas that naturally become more sensitive as we age. This doesn't mean eating these fish once is harmful. The concern is regular consumption, particularly in older adults whose bodies may not eliminate heavy metals as efficiently as before. Because of this, organizations like the FDA and EPA consistently recommend limiting or avoiding these species, especially for older adults and other higher-risk groups. The key takeaway here isn't fear, it's awareness. Choosing fish that offer omega-3 benefits without a high mercury load allows you to support heart health while reducing unnecessary strain on the cardiovascular system. The second category that often surprises people isn't about the type of fish, it's how the fish is cooked. Deep-fried fish, whether it's from a restaurant, takeaway, or frozen breaded fillet, may quietly work against heart health when eaten regularly. When fish is deep-fried, especially in repeatedly heated oils, its natural benefits can be reduced. Research suggests that frying can increase unhealthy fats, oxidized oils, and overall calorie density, while lowering beneficial omega-3 content. These changes may contribute to higher inflammation and less favorable cholesterol patterns over time. Several large observational studies have found that people who frequently eat fried fish tend to have a higher risk of cardiovascular issues compared to those who eat fish prepared by baking, grilling, or steaming. It's not the fish itself, it's the cooking method. For adults over 60, this matters more because the heart and blood vessels become more sensitive to inflammation and excess fats. The takeaway is simple and practical. Keeping fish heart-friendly often comes down to choosing gentler cooking methods that preserve nutrients rather than masking them with heavy batter and oil. The third category to be mindful of is highly processed fish products, items like fish sticks, fish patties, and imitation seafood. While they're convenient and often marketed as healthy, research suggests they may offer far fewer heart benefits than whole fish. During processing, much of the natural omega-3 content is reduced, while sodium, refined oils, and additives are often increased. Excess sodium, in particular, is linked in many studies to higher blood pressure, especially in older adults whose cardiovascular systems are more sensitive to salt. Another issue is portion distortion. Processed fish products are easy to overeat, which can quietly increase calorie and sodium intake without delivering the nutrients people expect from fish. Over time, this imbalance may contribute to inflammation and less favorable heart markers. This doesn't mean you can never enjoy them. The concern is regular reliance on these products instead of minimally processed fish. Heart health guidelines consistently emphasize whole or lightly prepared foods because they allow you to benefit from fish's nutrients without the added burden of excess sodium and processed fats. The practical takeaway: when fish looks more like a packaged snack than a fillet, its heart protective value is often much lower. The fourth category isn't about avoiding farmed fish altogether. It's about understanding how farming methods can change a fish's nutritional profile. Some farmed fish, depending on how they're raised and fed, may provide fewer heart benefits compared to their wild-caught counterparts. Research suggests that certain farmed fish can contain higher levels of omega-6 fats and lower levels of omega-3s, especially when their feed is grain-based rather than marine-based. While omega-6 fats aren't inherently harmful, an imbalance between omega-6 and omega-3 intake may contribute to inflammation, which is a concern for heart health as we age. Another factor is quality control. Farming standards vary widely by region and producer. In poorly regulated systems, fish may be exposed to contaminants or require higher antibiotic use, which has raised concerns in nutrition and environmental research. The key point here is nuance, not fear. Many farmed fish are safe and nutritious when sourced responsibly. The practical takeaway is to look for transparency, clear labeling, trusted suppliers, and balanced nutrition, rather than assuming all farmed fish offer the same heart protective benefits. When it comes to heart health after 60, research consistently points to omega-3 rich fatty fish as one of the most supportive choices, especially when they're wild-caught. Examples include wild salmon, sardines, and mackerel that are not high-mercury species. These fish are rich in EPA and DHA, two omega-3 fatty acids that studies suggest are linked with healthier triglyceride levels, improved blood vessel function, and more stable heart rhythms. Unlike supplements, whole fish also provide protein, vitamin D, and other nutrients that work together in the body. Wild-caught options tend to have a more favorable omega-3 to omega-6 ratio compared to some farmed varieties, which may help support a healthier inflammatory balance, something that becomes more important with age. The benefit doesn't come from eating large amounts. Research and heart health guidelines generally suggest 1 to 2 servings per week as part of a balanced diet. Prepared by baking, grilling, or steaming, these fish allow you to keep the heart benefits without adding unnecessary fats or sodium. One of the most heart-friendly fish choices after 60 is small oily fish. Examples include anchovies, herring, and sardines. What makes these fish stand out isn't just their nutrient content, it's their low mercury risk combined with high omega-3 levels. Because these fish are smaller and lower on the food chain, they accumulate far less mercury than larger predatory species. That means you can gain the cardiovascular benefits of omega-3 fatty acids without the same concern about heavy metal buildup over time. Research suggests diets that include small oily fish are associated with healthier triglyceride levels and reduced markers of inflammation. For older adults, this balance is especially helpful because the heart and blood vessels tend to become more sensitive to inflammatory stress with age. Another advantage is practicality. Small oily fish are often affordable, widely available, and easy to prepare. Whether grilled, baked, or added to simple meals, they fit well into a heart-conscious eating pattern. The key takeaway is consistency, not quantity. Including small oily fish once or twice a week may help support heart health while keeping exposure to unwanted contaminants low. Trout and Arctic char are often overlooked, but research suggests they can be excellent choices for supporting heart health, especially after 60. These fish sit in a middle ground, rich enough in omega-3 fatty acids to offer cardiovascular benefits, while generally carrying a lower contaminant risk compared to larger predatory species. Both trout and Arctic char provide EPA and DHA, the omega-3s most commonly linked in studies to healthier blood lipid profiles and improved blood vessel function. They're also good sources of high-quality protein, which supports muscle maintenance and metabolic health as we age. Another advantage is versatility. These fish tend to be mild in flavor and respond well to simple cooking methods like baking, grilling, or pan-searing with minimal oil. That makes it easier to keep meals heart-friendly without relying on heavy sauces or salt. From a practical standpoint, trout, and Arctic char are often farmed under more controlled conditions than some other species, which can result in consistent quality when sourced from reputable producers. The takeaway is simple. If you're looking to vary your fish intake beyond salmon, trout, and Arctic char offer a reliable, heart-supportive alternative when prepared thoughtfully. Lean fish may not get as much attention as oily varieties, but when prepared correctly, they can still play a supportive role in heart health, especially after 60. Examples include cod, pollock, haddock, and sole. These fish are naturally low in saturated fat and provide high-quality protein, which helps support muscle mass and metabolic function as we age. While lean fish contain less omega-3 than fatty fish, research suggests they can still contribute to a heart-conscious diet when eaten in place of red or processed meats. The key factor here is preparation. Baking, steaming, grilling, or lightly pan-searing with minimal oil preserves nutritional value without adding excess sodium or unhealthy fats. When lean fish is breaded, deep-fried, or heavily sauced, many of these benefits are reduced. From a cardiovascular perspective, replacing higher-fat protein sources with lean fish has been associated in population studies with improved cholesterol patterns and overall dietary quality. The takeaway is balance. Lean fish works best alongside omega-3 rich options, not as a replacement for them. When prepared simply and eaten regularly, lean fish can support heart health as part of a varied, realistic eating pattern. Here's the part most people miss. It's not just which fish you eat, it's how often, how much, and what you eat it with. Many people assume that eating fish more frequently always means better heart health, but research suggests that balance matters more than volume. Studies consistently point to 1 to 2 servings of fish per week as a heart-supportive range for most adults. Eating far more, especially high-mercury or heavily processed fish, may reduce those benefits over time. Preparation also plays a role. Fish paired with refined oils, excess salt, or deep frying can shift a healthy meal in the opposite direction. This approach isn't about restriction. It's about strategy. Choosing lower mercury fish, rotating types, and using gentle cooking methods helps maintain omega-3 benefits while minimizing unnecessary strain on the cardiovascular system. If you're on blood thinners or managing other health conditions, it's wise to discuss fish intake with your healthcare provider to ensure it fits your individual needs. To recap, not all fish are equal for heart health after 60. Choose wisely, favor lower mercury, omega-3 rich options, and prepare them with gentle cooking methods. Small oily fish, trout, and properly prepared lean fish provide benefits, while large predatory, fried, or highly processed fish may be best limited. Start simple. Swap one weekly meal for a heart-friendly fish choice and focus on balance and variety. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more science-backed, practical tips and let us know in the comments which fish you eat most often.